have the fields on it, then it's not going to work. All right. So that's why you need to make sure that when you're in DotLoop and you're in the template and you're in the listing package, you want to make sure that you can go to this field. You can add the information here so that in the future, when you bring the form over, it's already there.
I love you.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah, that's going to save you countless. And that's something that Bertha learned at Family Reunion. I didn't even know that. She learned that. Okay?
Way to go, Bertha.
So, and again, you can, and just so you know, you can make these fields larger, smaller, what have you. Okay? So you always just want to put the 2 there. Bring the street over here. Okay? Property reference number. Again, you're just going to copy that information from the website. Here's the important information. Okay? As you get down to the signatures, just because you add a signature doesn't really mean much. So the fact that you can take the signature, make sure that you assign the role here. So that's for the seller specifically, and you want to assign the role so that when it gets shared with the client, when it moves it to them, it's going to automatically assign that as the seller. And the same thing down here for the buyer. So you want to put this one right here. You just want to go back up here to the role and assign that as the buyer. All right? And then that way, when you bring those documents, even if you don't take the time to actually specify which particular buyer, the system's going to know that it's the buyer that's only allowed to sign in that spot. Okay? So, again, that will save you some time. And that's something that we learned at Family Reunion, or Bertha did and shared it with me. So, way to go, Bertha. So, I'm just going to take the time now to do that. And this one up here is going to be seller. And make sure that you save it, because if you don't save, we'll be back to square one.
For some reason, I don't know if it was that Rochelle was messing around, but the county field on the as-is contract that's in the main templates right now is missing.
The county field is missing. So she's notified them, and the same thing was the DotLoop had the appraisal addendum for the CRISP contract was not in there. So what I did was just bring it over from Form Simplicity and create it as a DotLoop field, but she's already notified them of that too.
What's an appraisal addendum?
Well, so make sure that it appraises. So in the event that the home doesn't appraise, the buyer has the option to terminate the agreement.
Right, get out of it.
So,
what would happen if you didn't have that addendum?
well, some of the stuff is kind of redundant. You know, it's just like, for example, some people think there's this mindset out there that the appraisal has to be done within the home inspection period. Well, number one, that's not true. Number three, even if it did, it honestly wouldn't matter, because let's just say we're 2 days from closing and the appraisal comes back and doesn't meet the purchase price. Well, whoop-de-doo, the bank could care less that you're past your home inspection period. Right. The seller would either have the option to reduce the purchase price to the new appraised value, and or the buyer obviously could bring the difference